What do porn towns, life insurance, and refugees all have in common? That's right, YouTube's very own Patrick Bet-David. Award-winning author, multi-millionaire in the competitive insurance space, and famous YouTube personality. Patrick Bet-David, or for the sake of some parts of this video, Pubba conquered all hills he set his eyes on. And you're going to realize it was not always like this for our dear Pubba. On this episode of How They Did It, we boil down decades of Patrick's key life experiences, and much like previous episodes, we also present the key decisions that he made to reach the top of the mountain, and the key decisions that we can make to reach our own tippity top. So let's get started. Testosterone reverberating through his veins. Through knowledge. Knew it. I'm trying my hardest to not get my channel banned. Born on October 18th, 1978, just 1 year before Iran went through a revolution, and just 2 years before the brutal Iran-Iraq War started. Patrick's upbringing was nothing normal. Constantly sheltering in different parts of Tehran due to consistent Iraqi missile attacks, Bet-David's family fled the war-torn country in 1989 and moved to a refugee camp in Erlangen, Germany when he was just 10 years old. Terrified, young Patrick's survival instincts kicked in. Trying to learn how to navigate the social life of the Erlangen refugee camp was no easy task. Fights, poor living conditions, and uncertainty made it very difficult to fit in properly. But Patrick eventually became friends with a young Yugoslavian boy. One day they were playing soccer. I will never call it football. And the Yugoslavian boy's sister came to play. Young Patrick immediately fell in love, but didn't know how to spend time with the sister. But then realized that the young Yugoslavian boy loves to play Super Mario Bros, but he didn't have enough money to buy the new one for himself. Patrick went to a local pool outside the refugee camp and convinced the owner to let him clean the pool for some money. After some time, young Patrick made enough money to buy the game for his friend. Successfully distracting his friend, he gained enough time to spend with the one who caught his eye. He earned a very valuable life card that you can use in your own life and that I will explain further in the video. Pubba's family's visa application was finally approved and they settled in Glendale, California. Just starting high school, Pubba did not speak English fluently, but later mastered it during the final years of high school. Testosterone reverberating through his veins. D-ball is better than test. Pubba focused more on getting girls and bodybuilding. Patrick was a giga chad and a terrible student. Barely passing high school and being the socialite, he got along with absolutely every type of high school student. Jocks, goths, drug dealers, all got along with Patrick, and Patrick got along with all of them. In his final grade, Patrick felt fear for the first time in his American life. What am I going to do? What am I going to pursue? Who am I going to be? Were all questions that were going through Patrick's mind at this time. After trying out some dead-end jobs and just leaving one job behind, Pubba found himself at a local army recruiter's office and signed up. Joining the 101st Airborne, the only easy day was yesterday. Brutal training regiments, less than ideal living conditions, and dealing with people who would lose in an IQ test with a Guatemalan potato. Pubba was actually not out of his comfort zone. He fell in love with the ruthlessness of the army and learned how to deal with the meatheads that fill the ranks. The 101st Airborne constantly challenges each new recruit and forces this discipline within them. Before we go to the cool parts of Patrick's journey, my favorite section, and soon to be yours as well, his life cards must be presented. And remember, if you want to know what your life cards are, or if you just want to learn more about this idea of life cards and how best to use it to your advantage, or if this type of content resonates with you, like and subscribe to this channel to boost your own testosterone. Bet-David's cards in this moment of his life were the following. He successfully earned the adaptability card from living through a war, living in a refugee camp, and just moving to the US. He also earned the creative problem-solving card very early on from the army, and most importantly from when he was a young 10-year-old boy in a refugee camp, regarding the Super Mario Bros. Story. He also has a discipline card which he earned from the army and from his bodybuilding experience. It takes quite a bit of discipline just to go to the gym, as you may know. He has the strong social skills card that he also earned from dealing with every type of person in high school and the army. He also has the independence card, but he also has no money, no connections, and no direction. In our last episode, we took a look at Dana White's life cards and how he used them to his advantage. To truly understand how these guys became rich and successful, I recommend watching that video and comparing Dana White's cards to Patrick's cards. Moving forward. Fresh from leaving the army, Patrick was setting his sights to conquer the entire world. But then reality hit, and he didn't know where to start. Knowing that he has strong social skills and a love for fitness in general, Patrick found a sales job at a local gym, which happened to be in Chatsworth, which is a city near Glendale. This is a very key piece of information, which you're gonna realize why in about 10 seconds. Putting his ego aside and wearing a bright purple sales shirt, Pabada began pounding away. This pun will make sense again in the next 10 seconds, but found that most of the customers were not responding to the typical sales pitch until it dawned on him. Chatsworth is famous because most of the world's popcornography was filmed there, meaning most of the people going to the gym were popcorn stars. Another testosterone-infused fun fact is that our boy Pabada was also an aspiring male popcorn model. This aspiration meant he knew how to talk the talk and pound the mound towards other similar models who frequented the gym. Changing the sales pitch to be more relatable to their local talent, Patrick was able to double his sales month over month, effectively turning the gym into the fastest growing gym in the area. Even after all the success in his sales job, he felt that he hit a ceiling and moved his skill set to the financial industry, knowing that the sky's the limit. Working briefly at Morgan Stanley and some other institutions, selling any type of financial asset he could, he was making pretty good money, but he still felt something was missing. He still felt that there needed to be more direction in his pursuit of success rather than just general sales. Which brings us to the most important step any person has taken, no matter what stage in their journey they are in, their life-changing choice. Pat noticed that the insurance space was very weak in terms of sales strategy and made his ultimate decision to take his sales strategy skills into it and become an expert in this one niche of the financial industry. This changed the game for Patrick, because before he was just trying to float in the ocean, but now because he knows his direction, he began to swim towards it, which was success in the insurance space. But then what was the step after this? Well, let's take a look at his life cards at this moment in his life. His cards are the following: sales and sales strategy expert card, discipline, independence. Now he has some money. At this point in time, his net worth was around 1 million. So he has the some money card. Creative problem solving, medium level connections in the financial industry, a license to sell most financial assets, and most importantly, insurance, and the most powerful card of all, the life-changing choice card. Now his deck of cards is perfect for what he wants to do next. Using all the cards at his disposal, Pabada got to work, founding PHP Agency in 2009, which is an agency focused on providing the best platform, training, and support someone needs to become a successful insurance salesman. This agency quickly grew into becoming one of the fastest growing financial agencies in America. He founded Valuetainment on YouTube in 2013 to help teach the world the fundamentals of entrepreneurship and business in general. Through his unique video formats and powerful interviews, Valuetainment quickly grew to millions of followers in less than 5 years. He wrote his first book in 2012 named The PHP Playbook. Patrick went on to write 6 more books, where some even became bestsellers. Today, he sold PHP Agency for an undisclosed amount of money. That means hundreds of millions of dollars. His YouTube channel is one of the main entrepreneurship channels on the website, generating millions of views and millions of dollars per year. And his books continue to inspire and teach millions. All of this from a testosterone-infused young boy fleeing war, unconsciously knowing his life card and wanting a better life. But what about us? What can we take from Patrick's life story? As always, the most important step in any person's journey is that life-changing choice, where you want to dedicate your time and energy to. I say this in every video during this series. And remember, the decision doesn't have to be specific. It can be a general one, such as success in insurance. And people earn this card at different stages of their journey, always. In our previous episode, Dana White earned this card before he even had any experience in the industry he wanted to move towards. Patrick made this important step with experience, and yet they're both successful. The next most important step is knowing what cards you have at this cross-section of your life's time, and knowing if you need to upgrade them for your success. The next key takeaway for us is creative problem solving. Young Patrick wanted to spend more time with his friend's sister, so rather than sitting somewhere and doing nothing, he thought about a way to reach his goal. The lesson here is there is always a way to accomplish something. So what is important is desire. Once you have desire, then you need to bring in that creative problem solving. The next is knowing your audience. Patrick only found success in his gym sales job when he realized who his audience was, which were the popcorn models. Once he tailored his pitch, he immediately found success month over month. What other things can we take away from Patrick's life that we can use in our very own? Comment down below and let others know too. He has the same hours in the day as us, yet it's his decisions and life cards that ultimately decides his fate. If I made you laugh, yawn, or learn, like and subscribe to the channel. On our next episode of How They Did It, we take a look at another YouTube personality that we all know and love, Mr. Beast. Subscribe so you don't miss out.